When I woke up, there was a number on my screen that made me gag. The cryptocurrency that everyone loves to hate, XRP, just did something amazing. Yes, I've been in this crypto game for a while. I've had XRP since 2020. Okay, so I'm one of those early XRP buyers who bought a stack when it was really, really cheap, right? Back then, everyone just laughed at it. Of course, back then it was only for small amounts of money, right? The amount is somewhere between 15 and 20 cents. Some people called it a banker's coin and said it was too centralized. They also told me I was crazy for touching it. And for a moment, it looked like they might have been right. This was because not long after I started investing in XRP, wham! The case from the SEC hit, and my valuable XRP fell pretty hard. I remember that day in late 2020, when the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission went after Ripple. XRP dropped from about 50 cents to $17 overnight, right? Picture having your investment drop by about 60% in an instant. But it felt like getting hit in the gut. Trades took it off of lists. XRP was thought to be dead by everyone. Some of my friends told me, "I told you so," and they told me to give up. But here's the thing, I didn't give up. It was hard for me to walk. Now we're in the present, and I can't believe what I see. The price of XRP is about $285. The crazy rise since the beginning of 2024 is 308%. In the same time frame, Bitcoin is only up about 78% and Ether is up about 58%. That's right, the small cap crypto company that everyone thought would fail is now, praising the big boys. What a huge turn in the story, right? Okay, even Jamie, the crazy person who started Wall Street Bets, just wrote something about XRP's sudden rise. He basically said that this ticket that most people hated is now doing better because the network has been improved and there have been some wins for regulators. After that, he drops the cue. It's a great time to be living. That really says something coming from Wall Street Bets, who is a star in his own right. Wow, what a great time to be living. What did change? That sounds like a bad apple. How did XRP become the dark horse that won the race? So, here are some important things that did happen. Before anything else, the legal nightmare was fixed. Along with a pretty good ending, Ripple's long-running fight with the SEC finally came to an end in 2024. XRP is no longer a security risk, right? That must have felt like lifting a huge load off of XRP's back, right? There was no longer any doubt. All of a sudden, XRP wasn't dangerous anymore. You could say it was like a cloud cleared, and the sun just poured in right away. We saw new partnerships come together. Ripple even made a deal with BNY Mellon, which is the oldest bank in the United States. Yes, a bank that is 239 years old is getting on board with XRP. Who thought that one would happen? It's not just BNY, right? A number of institutions began to store XRP, and over 1 billion was reported as significant XRP reserves. You knew something was wrong when you saw big money betting on XRP, and you still can. Second, technology did get better, and lots of people noticed. Now the XRP system kept getting better, right? The system is getting faster and better at what it does thanks to ongoing network updates. You know that SWIFT or wire payments can take days, right? Ripple's network can settle transactions very quickly. Influential people like Ben Armstrong. This person is likely known as BitBoy. He kind of pointed out that the fact that XRP payments can be made in seconds instead of days with traditional banks is a big plus. Really, who knew? BitBoy has to tell you. Anyways, I had a friend who had been waiting about a week for a foreign payment, most recently a bank transfer, and I showed him an XRP demo. He was blown away by how quickly it could move money across borders. Seeing how useful something is in the real world gives me a chill. This isn't just hype, is it? This is something you can really feel when you see it. I'm not going to lie to you, right? From 2020 to 2025, using XRP was like taking a loopy roller coaster, right? And these are things I didn't expect at all. The group was one thing that kind of kept me sane through it all. After that, I lurked on boards, read Twitter threads, and hung out in our Discord group. And here's a shout out to the free Discord service for schools. In the next sentence, there is a link. Some days, it's just a place for us to vent our frustrations when things are going badly. Joining an XRP group, on the other hand, made those scary 3 a.m. moments into chances to learn and, well, sometimes inside jokes. For example, there were times when we would meme XRP 589, right? That's an old joke or guess, and it's meant to lift our moods. It may sound silly, but to be honest, it did help. Okay, this is a true story. I almost sold all of my XRP at one point. I was sick of the lawyer delays and the price staying the same at about 30 cents. I believed that the people who were mean to me might have been right. This coin might not be going anywhere, but I feel something in my gut, right? And maybe a few late-night Discord talks with my XRP friends made me decide to hold on just a little longer. And now I'm kind of glad I did, because that's when things began to happen, right? Out of the blue, XRP went from about $50 to $340 in just a few weeks in late 2024. Now that the market knows the SEC case is over, that's almost a 7x gain. Bitcoin, or BTC as some people call it, went from about 68K to 112K during the same time span. There's nothing to smell, right? But that's only up about 64%. It was crazy to see XRP do so much better than Bitcoin. It was like seeing David not only beat Goliath, but also run around the field a few times just for fun. And here's something else. Some experts believe this is only the beginning. The head of Alpha Lions Academy is a guy named Edino Fina, who simply says that XRP is a much better investment right now than Bitcoin. He even said, and this is my favorite part, that you'd be crazy to think that BTC is a better bet right now. He thought that if Bitcoin went on a wild ride and reached, say, $500,000 one day, that would be 5 times its present value, right? But XRP could go from a few dollars to $100 if all the conditions are right. You know how to do the maths. That's a gain of over 40 times. 40 times. I kind of ran the numbers through my computer twice when I heard that to make sure I wasn't seeing anything I shouldn't have. I know that a $100 XRP sounds crazy to a lot of people, but a $500,000 Bitcoin also sounds crazy, right? Until you remember that people used to think Ethereum worth $20,000 was crazy too. We're now well over 100,000. That being said, if XRP even comes close to some of those predictions, the gain could turn your life upside down. Before I go on, I want to make this very clear. I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing in this movie is financial advice. I know this may come as a surprise to you. There is a big chance that you could lose all the money you spend in cryptocurrencies. You should always do your own study and talk to a professional. In the end, you are the only one responsible for your finances. Also, you should know that when you buy, nothing is ever a sure thing. You won't lose anything because of me, this station, or YouTube. Also, this movie is only meant to be fun and educational. Okay, I'm glad we got that required but very important statement out of the way, because when we talk about crazy things like $100 XRP, you need to be reminded of how things really are. Right now, crypto is risky. There is no question about it. In fact, I'm seeing XRP go down and then up by 5 to 10% some days, as well as seeing it crash 60% in one day. That's why I would never tell someone to put all their money on it. This is what I mean. Look at the direction and the path that is here. Now, let me tell you why I'm so excited about XRP's future. We have seen what can happen when momentum, technology, and time all work together, even though there are risks. Now, Dustin Layton, another crypto expert, said it in a way that really hit home for me. Now, he said that the price of XRP now is like the price of Bitcoin 5 cents ago. So, my 2 cents on early Bitcoin. Now, he said that the price of XRP right now was a generational entry, which means that it was a chance that might not come around again and is only available once every generation. He also gave a pretty crazy stat to back it up. The long-term return on Bitcoin is about 2,281. 24 at 81, 60%. That's why you had to double-check all those numbers, right? 2 million times $100 equals millions of dollars. That's not what I mean by XRP will do that. No, I'm not crazy. But hearing that similarity made me wonder what could happen if XRP really does reach its full potential in the next 10 years. It also gave me chills, right? It also made me double-check that I had my XRP wallet login handy, since I might want to add a little more to my bag in case there is another drop. These are just my personal thoughts, and they are not financial advice. But let me put the brakes on for a second because not everyone is excited about XRP, right? We should talk about why. For starters, Ripple, the company, still controls a sizable amount of XRP, about 40% of the whole stock. A lot of people are worried that Ripple might dump tokens or that this goes against the idea of decentralization, and I understand why. It's kind of a good worry. Sometimes I wonder if I'm okay with the fact that this isn't completely decentralized like Bitcoin. Isn't it a trade-off? If you look at it another way, Ripple's participation could mean that there is a company pushing for the use. Second, XRP still hasn't broken its all-time high, right? Not even after this huge run. That was about $384 from the peak of the bull market in 2018. Let's give that some thought. A lot has changed since their all-time highs in 2017 and 2018. Even though XRP has made progress, it is still less than its all-time high. Skeptics will say, see, it doesn't work very well in the big picture. It hasn't even been tested over time. And they're not wrong when they say that XRP has sometimes lagged behind and moved in strange ways in the past. Of course, there's the well-known chant, right? The next big thing will never be XRP. I've heard that a million times. XRP doesn't even have to be Bitcoin, to be honest. It's not trying to be the same. With global payments, it's making its own way. But could it ever be as big as the big dogs in terms of market cap? Haters don't believe it, though. They say things like that if XRP hit $100, its market cap would be huge, which doesn't seem likely until it really is. Yes? In the world of crypto, 5 or 10 years ago seems like a long time ago. And in that amount of time, the way the market works can change a lot. People like BitBoy, who has been in the crypto world a few times, remind us that this isn't really a new thing and that this business has a history of not living up to expectations. Market cap doesn't really tell you anything other than imaginary value, after all. This only shows big picture prices, which makes me think that the price sets the market cap and not the other way around. And what seems impossible today might become true tomorrow. Really, who would have thought that a meme coin like Dogecoin would become one of the most popular cryptocurrencies? Or that a digital beanie baby called K CryptoKitties would cause networks to slow down and start the NFT boom? It's pretty crazy what goes on here, right? That being said, I am aware of the risks and questions. Trust me, I keep an eye on myself to make sure I don't get lost in all the drugs. But I also look at the bigger picture. The story of XRP is still being written. It was said a few years ago that XRP would fail. It will be killed by the SEC. Now, XRP has not only survived, but it is also doing very well in a way that not many people thought would happen. In the United States, the law makes it clear. Many well-known people use it, and the community has never given up on it. Of course, that really does matter a lot. I've learned a lot on this trip. Not just about XRP, but also about having faith and waiting. What I learned is that investments that people hate can sometimes pay off the most if they do their study and really believe in the use case. Right now, I don't care about any of my coins, right? But XRP has a special place in my heart, at least for me, because of what I went through while having it. It was a bit like being a fan of the losing team, cheering them on from the stands when no one else did. It looks like that underdog is now hitting goals. Now, I'm going to tell you what I use if you want to learn more about XRP or even start trading cryptocurrencies yourself. The Blowfin crypto market is a pretty cool place to trade crypto that I've been using lately. I also use BitGap sometimes for some altcoins and functions. To be honest, though, I do have affiliate links for both Blowfin and BitGap in the text below. If you use those, sign up and trade through them. It helps the channel and lets me make more videos like these, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. That means you don't have to use them. But if you do, I'd like to thank you ahead of time. I'm only going to talk about these because they've worked well for me over the years and because I know it can be hard to find your way around a crypto market for the first time. Well, let's forget about the technical stuff and all the hype for a moment and enjoy the fact that I'm in the year 2025. I'm taking sips of my coffee that are left over. Additionally, I did make a new cup because the first one got all over my shirt in that XRP price shock. I opened my portfolio app though, and there it was, XRP. This is the asset that made me question my health in 2020. I see headlines about how the founder of Wall Street Bets is amazed by it, how big institutions are buying it, and how experts are debating whether it could even one day compete with Ethereum or Bitcoin. That's pretty strange. What would I have said if you had told me in 2020 that I would be seeing this today? I would have laughed right at you. But back then, my crypto friends made fun of me for keeping XRP. These friends are now telling me, "Hey man, how do I buy some XRP? Is it too late?" It's funny how things work out sometimes. You need to love it. So this is a great time to be an XRP buyer. To be honest, I don't care what happens next. I'm just glad I stayed for the ride, whether XRP claim keeps going up or even just takes a break. It backs up a lot of what I believe. It did, however, remind me of why I got into crypto in the first place. It's easy to get caught off guard in this place because it moves quickly. The loser today could be the winner tomorrow. And seeing that change happen with all of you has been nothing but amazing. That's where that leaves us today. Where do we go from here? Okay, I'm not going to act like I have a crystal ball because I don't. Yes? Things could keep going wrong for XRP, or it could just hit a few bumps. It's possible that it will do both. I will be here for it, though. You guys will keep hearing about my journey, the good, the bad, and of course the ugly. If you're still watching, good job. You have the patience of someone who holds on to XRP. Do you own XRP? If so, please let me know when you bought it and how you've handled these price drops in the comments section below. I love hearing about the war. Last but not least, please join our Discord if you haven't already. The educational server I talked about earlier is totally free. You can learn a lot and share your stories with people who really get it. That's crazy, but you don't have to do it by yourself. Okay, I think it's time to end this personal story. Keep an open mind and do your own study. That's what I learned from my XRP adventure today. It's possible for the bet that everyone laughs at to turn out to be the dark horse that runs the fastest. It can pay off to keep going even when you're scared, unsure, or has doubts. You should know why you're hanging on though, and be ready to admit when you're wrong. So far, my bet on XRP seems to be paying off even better than I thought it would. I'm excited and a little scared to see where it goes next. Thanks for joining me on this crazy little trip today. What a great story to tell. Don't forget to hit the follow button and hit the like button for me. I'll see you all in the next video.